Well, we were doing really well in Test cricket. I think ODIs we didn't win 3 games in a row before this. So from the last game in West Indies to now, we won 6. So that's something that we wanted to address, which we did before the series, and we wanted to be, relentless. We wanted to create good habits and make sure that we are challenging ourselves every time that we go out on the park, and that helps you when you are going through difficult situations. So I think that's one thing that we addressed before this series, and it really helped us, to come out here and play how we wanted to play, and not let complacency get in at any stage. I think good habits are very hard to create, and once you create them, then if you take the game easy, then the game will find out those things and sort you out on the park. So we respect the game, and that's something that we decided to do all throughout, regardless of what was happening otherwise. Well, yeah, I mean, look, we spoke about experimenting with a few guys going up and down the order, and we have to try, a few things, because you can't, if you go to play against India, that, there's going to be one pattern that's going to be followed. So people can prepare. Once we start playing like this and we get more confident in the roles that we're given, then we can be more unpredictable. And, the kind of talent that we have in the side, if we can be unpredictable as well, then that becomes a lethal combination. Then teams will find it difficult to set a pattern against us, and we'll always stay ahead of the game, and or at least try to. And more often than not, we'll end up executing those things. But it's important to embrace that change, and the guys have done it. And some guys will perform, some guys won't, and that goes in limited overs cricket anyway. So it's not a alarming thing for us. We'll keep doing these things, in future as well, before we reach the World Cup. Sorry, I didn't get the second part. Look, we we didn't analyze the opposition at any stage in the series. I think we only wanted to focus on our strengths and make sure that we keep repeating those things out in the middle. That way, the opposition becomes, it's not something that you need to focus on. And we just wanted to execute the plans that we had made for ourselves as a team, regardless of the opposition. It didn't matter to us whether we're playing Sri Lanka or we're going to play Australia back home. For us, it was focusing on our team. So we didn't sit and think what is the difference between the two sides. Obviously, if you have an opportunity to win international games, you're going to pounce on those opportunities and win and perform as well. So that's exactly what we did. And we never thought at any stage that this is the difference between the two sides, or we didn't analyze those things. We were just looking for improvement on our side of things. Maybe the Sri Lankan management would be able to answer that better than me, because we were only focusing on what we had to do. Well, these guys were brilliant, I thought. All three of them. Akshar, being a conventional spinner as well, the way he varied his pace, I think was outstanding. He never let the batsman get on top of him, and um, that's a remarkable thing when you don't have any variation in your bowling and still you don't let guys score. I think his height really helps him getting that extra bounce, and and the extra pace he can generate. He's got a very strong shoulder, so people find it difficult to sweep him. Kuldeep and Chahal, obviously, wrist spinners will always keep you in the game. So I certainly felt that all three of them were pretty spot on with attacking all the time, and it really helped us get those crucial wickets in the middle overs. As at the same time, it helped us control the run rate as well. So see, you might see changes in the bowling attack here and there every now and then, but these guys have grabbed their opportunity really well, and it's going to be a challenge among all the spinners and all the bowlers that are going to be in the part of that bigger group to make it to that 2019 World Cup. Because, as I said, we don't want to be predictable in any way, and we want to have an X factor if possible, in the bowling attack as well. I think the only sort of average day we had in the field was today. Apart from that, I think our fielding has been pretty sharp in all the 4 games. We wanted to put the best fielding side on the park, and that certainly helped to create that energy. And we got a few runouts and a few good catches as well. A lot of people stopping those singles in between. So that was one thing that we addressed. That was our priority, to have the fittest possible fielding side on the park, and that makes all the difference. If as a batsman, someone stops 4 boundaries of mine in 4 overs, that's the difference between me getting set, or getting frustrated and playing a bad shot and getting out. So yeah, maybe today wasn't our best fielding performance, but I think in the first 4 games it was quite spot on. Wides. Um, Well, yeah, that's if the number is big, obviously the bowlers will want to correct that. That's not something that you can take for granted. Extras is something that you have to control, and yeah, in future, obviously those things, if we tighten them up, they'll only help us execute things better and even squeeze the opposition even more.
Thank you. Last word, Ravish. Captain award on the sprint Mumbai has come a long way. And what are you going to say about your consistency? 30 centuries, just the master blaster in front of you. So what would you say about your own performance?
Well, Jasprit, obviously, he's been our most effective short format bowler in the last 18 months or so, and he's really worked on his bowling a lot, especially the way his length ball has picked up more pace is something that's very heartening to see, and it never lets the batsman get settled, because it's not only about Yorkers and slower balls anymore. He can bowl a good length ball and nick you off as well, which I think is the biggest improvement in his bowling, and that's credit to him for shaping his game in that way. Getting a Man of the Series award in subcontinent as a fast bowler, it's always a great thing to achieve. And yeah, he bowled in really good areas, and he got the results as well. So he deserves to be the Man of the Series. I hope he can continue the same way against Australia. As far as I go, I only look to perform as much as I can for the team. Again, these things are something that keep happening in your career as you go along, and you don't target these things. But yeah, those stat windows are hard to neglect, because they pop up everywhere after you achieve something. So it's an honor for me to pass someone or equal someone like Ricky Ponting, and that's not something that you aim for. But obviously he's a great player, and as batsmen, we all respect what these legends have done, and it feels nice to have equaled one. And yeah, as you said, the great man is quite a bit away. That's going to take a hell of an effort. Again, I'm not thinking about that. For me, it's all about performing for the team whenever I can. Even if it's a 90 not out and the team gets across the line, it's good enough for me.
Thank you. And Virat, you know the way which you face your limits. Normally, you chasing against you, because of the pitch.
Yeah, the pitch was very different from the last game. It's been under covers for 2 days, and it was quite sticky. So the spinners were much more effective, and the ball wasn't coming onto the bat that well. I only had 9 boundaries in my century, so I've had 2 big knocks in 3 days in very hot conditions. So today was very challenging in terms of just running those singles and doubles and rotating strike. And because we only played with the 6 batters, including Evis, it became much more important for me to stick in there and not take a lot of risks and play those high risk shots. So say at this stage of your career, it becomes about awareness, what the team wants you to do. Last game was an opportunity for me to come out and play the way I wanted to, but today, obviously, playing a batsman less, the responsibility was on me when we were 29 for 2. So that becomes your second nature when you've done it for X number of times for the team. So it's not something that you need to plan before, but you just react to a situation. And as I said, you need to be respectful towards the game, keep working hard, and the results do come for sure.
Virat, series like this one, more or less everybody come forth whenever they got an opportunity. How difficult from a captain point of view to keep somebody out of the squad from this, and how do you explain them to the situation like this? And at the same time, in the coming next series, there might be some people coming back also. Umesh, Sami, Jadeja. Some of them might be not be fighting a series in this world. So how difficult is to motivate them and keep them in the group?
Well, best thing is transparency. I mean, we address things straight away. We tell them that this is a bunch of 20, 25 people that are going to make the probables for the World Cup. And everyone has an equal opportunity to be tested at different stages. Till the World Cup, we have about 42 games, 37 now, if I'm not wrong. So, yeah, we'll have to keep trying, different players and find the best combination for us, and then give that combination a long run before we settle into the World Cup. So, I think everyone understands where we stand as a team, and people have to appreciate that and accept that, because this is about the larger picture. It's not about, who's sitting out or who's not playing. It's about, focusing on a very big tournament. And in that scenario, people will have to, accept roles and accept the things that are addressed. And the best thing about this team is they're very, sporting, and they accept things very quickly, and they embrace the challenge. They take it as a challenge rather than getting disappointed and sulking. They start working hard in that aspect of their game to make it happen for the team. So I'm quite lucky that you have a bunch of players that do not oppose anything that the management and me as captain address to them, and it makes my job a lot more easier.
Last one, sir. It feels like the team has a long to-do list to lead up to the World Cup. So how far along checking off these markers are you feeling comfortable with?
Well, look, the sooner the better. If within the next couple of series we find the best combination for us, which is covering all bases, and it's working well, and we find an 11 that's flexible enough to help us try different batsmen at different positions, or play bowlers who can bat a bit, and things like that. Then I think we're sorted, along with having the best fielding side on the park. So I think that's a balance that we need to create. It will only happen when we have a couple of big series coming up. So if guys perform in that, then the mindset becomes different of taking on anyone anywhere in the world. So I think those series will be very important for us to find the right balance as a team, and it will be a milestone for relatively younger players to gain more confidence, and then be a regular part of that playing 11 that is more flexible. We don't want to be predictable for sure. Till the lead up to the World Cup as well, and in the World Cup, we want 11 guys who can bat at any stage, bowl, chip in with a few overs at any stage. So we remain unpredictable. There's no pattern to anything. So the sooner the better, as I said.